With Unibright Freequity, we are offering products and solutions around DeFi and tokenization since 2019, when we did our first workshop with Deutsche Bahn Vertrieb. For us, everything around tokenization and DeFi is something we see from a very holistic perspective. That's why we came up with this 360-degree security token platform, bundling together token issuings, a regulatory compliant marketplace, and guaranteed liquidity inside one platform. And the whole idea is keeping the user on his or her domain, coming up with a questionnaire for issuing tokens that they can work on, later on building the path for derivatives and portfolios, having custodial services inside the platform, and thinking about integrating everything into the existing IT systems. A great example is our questionnaire for issuing a token. So this example shows a real world example, a real estate asset that is being tokenized. So the user has a great UI, enters all the aspects of the asset, the financial key metrics around the asset, and regulatory aspects. And when everything is done, we can think about token metrics and liquidity. So how do we expect the market of the token to behave? What buy and sell pressure do we see? We can simulate all this, and when every parameters have been set and market simulation has been done, then we generate everything that is needed. So the token contract, parts for the liquidity pool, and what we need. And what we see here is an example of our exchange solution. So we work with liquidity pools, setting up pools for the token that is being traded on the one hand side and a stable token on the other side. So when you work with this approach, you don't need a buyer and a seller, but liquidity is always given and you trade against the liquidity pool. That's a great concept, especially from a regulatory aspect as well. And it's a great example of a DeFi component built by Unibright that can just be put on top of every asset. This diagram shows the great use case we're doing together with Between, doing a baseline invoice tokenization, thereby adding business value to a transaction between 5 different participants. Additionally, we can add our Freequity liquidity component and the token issuance component on top of it. We have a great blog post explaining how Baseline and Unibright play together perfectly, especially outlining the key issues like generating tokens automatically for Baseline processes, adding Freequity components like the just showcased liquidity components on top of existing assets, and visually defining Baseline circuits for Baseline ownership transfer, notarization, or other business processes.